These are roughly 6,570 gumballs. Each gumball represents 24 hours in the life of your child, from birth through their 18th birthday. And while every child is special and precious and uniquely crafted by God, they all have one thing in common: those same 6,570 days. No more, no less. Here are 365 gumballs, baby's first year. While it may not feel like it, most of the baby's days are just spent sleeping. On average, they spend 228 of these 365 days asleep. In fact, sleeping takes up a lot of the next 17 years. Of their 6,205 remaining days, 2,904 are spent asleep. And that's not counting the time they spend complaining about their bedtime. After sleep, the next big chunk of your child's days will be spent looking at screens. Whether it's television, tablets, a gaming system, computer, or smartphone, experts project your child will have spent the equivalent of 887 24-hour days interacting with screens by the time they turn 18. Of course, school takes up some important time in your child's life as well. From the time they start kindergarten, they're at school roughly 38 hours a week for 36 weeks a year. Add it all up over 13 years, and that equals about 741 24-hour days. And don't forget homework. From age 6 through 17, the average student will spend the equivalent of 61 days on homework. You'll probably spend a few of those days pulling out your hair and developing some wrinkles. Organized, extracurricular activities like sports teams, music lessons, cheer, art, or karate will take up a good portion of their days. It depends on the kid, but on average, say goodbye to 151 days of childhood and a good chunk of change. And of course, there's time your child will spend just hanging out with their friends. Early on, it's time giggling under blanket forts or riding bikes around the neighborhood. Later, it's time at games and at concerts and late-night fast food drive-thrus. It's times you're not exactly sure where they are or who they're with. If your family attends church regularly, let's say an average of an hour and a half every week from the time your child is born, they will spend the equivalent of only 58 of their days in church. So after we take out all those gumballs, this is what remains. This is the time you have with your child. Time for laughing, playing games, and driving them in the car. Time for vacations, potty training, and answering question after endless question. Time for eating meals and enduring temper tantrums, theirs and yours. So, what are you going to do with this time? How much of it have you already used up? Is your child in the whining toddler phase? Maybe the dramatic preteen phase? Perhaps the trial and error of middle school? Or the stressed out high school phase? How much time have you already spent wishing the phase would end? Don't worry, it will. Remember, it's just a phase, so don't miss it.